to our channel. Today we're reviewing a 2016 Porsche Macan S. Let's hop in. Today we're in the 2016 Porsche Macan S. And my opinion on this car is I absolutely love it. I love it so much, I'd go out there and say that this is the best SUV to drive nowadays. The reason for that is compared to all of its competitors, such as the BMW X3, the Audi SQ5, there's nothing that really compares to something like this. This is really, I kind of call the rich man's WRX. I think that's a good way to put it. Because it's very nimble, it feels kind of like a WRX, and yet it's not. It's still a Porsche, and it's also an SUV, which is a huge plus for anyone that has family, friends, just a social life and needs to carry anything besides like a pen and a pencil, and like a car like a 911, where you only have your frunk that, you know, I don't think you could even fit 2 suitcases in. Maybe 1 if you're lucky, and if you pack light. So with this Porsche Macan S, is putting down 340 horsepower with 339 foot-pounds of torque. And you may listen to that and say, oh, you know, my uncle has a Supra that makes 1,000 horsepower. Well, not everyone's uncle has a Supra that makes 1,000 horsepower, and some people are looking to buy a car off the showroom to drive and enjoy. And I think this is really a car that you can enjoy, but you can also live with. This doesn't break your back whenever you go over a crack or a pothole or anything like this. It's really a smooth ride until you switch your transmission into sport, and you take your automatic feature and switch it over to manual with your PDK transmission. And with your PDK, you can choose whatever gear you want with either, right down here, you can shift it, or you can use these beautiful paddle shifters. The real nice metal feel, not really flingy and plasticky. So let's say I drop it a few gears and I floor it, and it really pushes you back into your seat. So I am thoroughly impressed at what that 340 horsepower can do. It's probably with the higher torque figure of 339 that makes you really feel like you're just going and keep on trucking on. Compare the other cars with lower torque and higher horsepower numbers. And in this Porsche Macan, it has the debadged feature on the back, which means that there's no badging on the back. There's no Porsche Macan on the back, so no one can really tell what the car is. And at first, when I first saw this car, I was like, I don't really like that much. But I've grown on it a lot. I kind of like the mystery. Everyone's like, what's that SUV that sounds so loud? We were actually at the gas station earlier filling this up, and when I went and turned it on, everyone else that was filling up their cars looked over, because this has a raspy, loud noise. It's actually quite impressive for an SUV. It sounds like a sports car you're turning on, and I think everyone was a little curious about it. And what I thought was really cool was no one really knew what it was because it was debadged. And as well as when I was talking to the owner of this vehicle, he said he brought it into the Porsche dealership for, you know, your regular oil maintenance. And a lot of the people at the service department thought it was a Macan GTS. And the reason because of that is because this has the GTS wheels on it. And of course, paired with the debadged look, you really don't know until you open up the door and you look down and you see that Macan S by your feet. So, why I think this is the best SUV out there? I think this is the best SUV for certain people, because it's almost like a 2-in-1 car. You have the ability to, you know, drive it wherever you want. It's all-wheel drive too, so you can drive in the snow, the mud, you know, all those things you might get worried about. Actually, as I'm driving right now, it is starting to snow out, and I guess we're kind of going to be testing the traction and the durability of this all-wheel drive system. Yeah, so even in the snow, it does stick really well around corners. I mean, you could probably get it squirrely if you want, but you really have no concerns about any of those harsh days that you're on your commute. But when you look forward to those nice spring, summer days, wherever you're located, you know, out in Arizona or California, you could be canyon driving, or you could be somewhere or mountainous, out in the mountains. You could also be driving this around, and which is really cool is you can kind of load the whole family up, and you can still drive this like a sports car. It doesn't feel sluggish and slow with a full 4 people in it. You could switch to PDK right over the manual, put this car in sports mode, and it just comes alive. It feels like a 911. Of course, you're not going to get the 911 experience, but if you want the best of both worlds, I really highly do suggest the Porsche Macan, because it truly is a great mix between an awesome handling car, great speed, there's tons of cargo capacity. You could fit a full family of 4 in here. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because we'll be putting out car videos weekly.